832. Y'all already know how we do. I'm with my boy out the 662. Y'all motherfuckers already know how he do, man. So let's take it away, bro. What we gonna talk about today in this motherfucker?
Man, not much. Just something quick. I noticed on our podcast last night we had 4 thumbs up and 1 thumbs down. So whoever put the thumbs down on that, you ought to be ashamed of your damn self. Man, we're gonna be talking about this Black Tuesday as far as with these college basketball coaching firings and possible hires and stuff. The NFL finally trying to get with the program with this overtime rule, and Johnny Manziel let some fans down here in his debut with the Memphis the Memphis Express. So well, go figure, because the fucking backup, the third string fucking quarterback won the well, actually he was the 4th string. The 4th string running quarterback is going to be the starter from here on out.
Shit.
So yeah, that's what Mike Singletary said. Because while we on that, one lady said she drove all the way from Durham, North Carolina to see Johnny Manziel, and he didn't even play.
That's crazy as hell, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, man, let's start off with this goddamn Arkansas situation, which I predicted. Either he was going to get fired this year or next year. You know what I'm saying?
You said it.
And black coaches. I got to talk to my black coaches because I love y'all to death. Y'all are some of, black coaches are some of my most important men in the game. First of all, you're already at a disadvantage because, number one, your skin tone is not always going to be on. That's first and foremost. Number 2, you got to make players respect you. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of these head coaches end up in the situations they're in. So you got to understand that you got a lot of obstacles against you. Mike Anderson, all people should have known he had a shitload of obstacles against him at Arkansas. He understood the expectations because, granted, he was the recruiting coordinator under Nolan Richardson when Nolan Richardson was the head coach. You know what I'm saying? And let me be honest with you. He should have kept the job at Missouri. He should not have came to Arkansas. He had a great thing going on at Missouri, and he fucked it up by simply leaving for Pig Suey, Dirt Road Cabin, Ozark Mountain, Elks from the Ozark Mountain smelling ass Arkansas. Fayetteville did not deserve Mike Anderson. I'm just gonna keep it 100.
They really didn't.
The way they pissed on Nolan Richardson when they fired him. Nolan Richardson should have never been fired from Arkansas to begin with. He should have been able to leave. He should have been able
on his own terms.
On his own terms. You know what I'm saying? And then if they were going to get rid of him, they're going to be like, hey, we want to go into a new direction. We're not trying to fire you, but I respect what you did for Arkansas. I'm going to give you a big boy payout. I'm going to give you a $10 million payout. Don't let it, let everybody know we didn't fire you. Just know that we appreciate your services at Arkansas. Instead, those country bumpkins pissed on Nolan Richardson and really just disappointed me when they fired Nolan Richardson.
They disappointed everybody that year. And then on a side note, when Frank Heath took over for Mike Richardson, Frank Heath in his first 2 seasons with Missouri won over 30-something freaking games. Running the same offense, running the same defense. And then he had that little, off year, but yeah, they still won 30 games. But I question Frank Heath as to why this fool decided he wanted to take the Tulsa job, which was crazy to me. Exactly. I'm like, damn, you gonna leave Missouri for Tulsa?
I agree, bro. I've never gotten it, but the truth of the matter is, fucking my boy Mike Anderson should not have left Missouri for Arkansas, and
he left in the season after he left the following season after Missouri gave this man an extension. I'm like, what the fuck wrong with you?
And not only that, he had an opportunity to take the Memphis job before
Yep.
they hired Pastner, and he did not take the opportunity. I will say this: had he took
because he asked Missouri to get him an extension so he wouldn't go.
Yeah,
and he was on.
But the thing is, he would have gotten more money coming to Memphis than he would Missouri, and then he's already at the recruiting base. He already has a recruiting base in Memphis, so that would have worked out. Memphis wouldn't have been so quick to fire him because he would have had success in Memphis. He would have gotten top recruits in Memphis because he's already have an establishment with the local coaches. You know what I'm saying? And what ended up happening within his 4 years, his first 4 years there, is he was unable to get a lot of Memphis talent because those guys were going all over the place. And,
Kentucky. Well, because what's his face up in Lexington was taking all the Memphis talent. So let's go on.
Yeah, and you know, like especially he lost out on Scala Labissiere from ECS. He lost out on a lot of talent, and then when Penny took the job at Memphis, that was the beginning of the end of Mike Anderson's career at Memphis because he's predominantly got a bunch of Arkansas kids.
You mean Arkansas?
Say what now?
You said that pretty much is predominantly the end of Mike Anderson's career in Memphis. You mean in Arkansas?
In Arkansas, that's what I mean. You know, that's pretty much the beginning of the end of his career because the thing is he cannot steal a lot of talent in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? And he missed out on Jeremiah Martin. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't come in and steal like he did. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately for Mike Anderson, you know, he may need to take a American Conference job, man, and whatever's available, he just need to take it, man. You know, because the thing is, he you know, after he missed out on a lot of talent, you know, that he's used to getting over the years, you know, that was the end of his career at Arkansas. And Arkansas is not trying to hear, well, you can't get this guy, you can't get that guy, you can't get this guy. You know, he did not have the talent to run 40 minutes of hell because you have to have the talent to run 40 minutes of hell. You know what I'm saying? Bar none. So it's just unfortunate that he got fired, but he shouldn't have never took that fucking job to begin with. You know, I'm pretty sure they're going to give him a pretty decent payout, but, you know, that payout wasn't worth it because he had something already established at Missouri. Yep. And he fucked up and left. He should have stayed his ass right where he was.
Yeah, and I think Missouri fans in the brass, they were pissed with him about that shit, man. I mean, you know, but the whole adage is, you know, and I'm not sounding racist, but it's the truth about, well, with everybody in the community, you know, don't say what a person won't do, but pertaining to us, meaning myself and Jimmy Skin Color, don't say what a nigga won't do. And I think Mike Anderson, when he did that, gonna ask Missouri for that extension, and then, you know, he had a productive season, and he gonna turn around and basically just dip like that. I felt he kind of fucked over the Missouri brass on that shit. So when Frank Heath decided to leave Miami to take over Missouri, hey, he basically had Mike Anderson players plus some.
Exactly.
And hold on, and Frank Heath's first year, they went they were like a number 1 seed. Because what Frank Heath did, because I think they asked one of Anderson's former players at Missouri at the time when Heath arrived, they said, what's the difference between Anderson and Heath? They said, just, you know, personality wise, he said, I said, well, if you want to talk about basketball, you know, as far as basketball wise, you know, they're tiff and tat. You know, Frank runs the same. When he get, it's like he give you the key. If Frank is like, if he give you the keys to the car and he trusts you to drive it and bring it home safe, that's what he gonna do. Said Mike in some ways was the same way. He said, but as far as like on a personal level, you know, said Mike really wasn't one of the boys, but Frank was, because Frank could relate to a lot of certain situations, and Frank kept it real somebody.
Yeah, and like I say, with Mike Anderson, I think he'll get another head coaching job, and he'll probably get another head coaching job close to home. You know, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get another head coaching job. You know,
he could take the Mississippi Valley job if he want to. I mean, hell, 31 and 132. What the fuck?
Who the fuck that? Who the fuck gonna take that fucking job? I mean, they're gonna get that. They're gonna get leftover talent any fucking way. So if I'm him, I don't even take that damn job. I say, Vanderbilt could look in his direction, but I don't see it. That's like a long shot.
Well, and I read if did you read that thing I posted up on CBS Sports about why they fired Bryce Drew? Because it wasn't, they want to say that he had like the number 5 recruit in the nation. It was a point guard, and he fucked around and got hurt. And they said had this man not got hurt, that 9-23 could have been reversed around to 23-9, and Bryce Drew still would have had his job. But like what you said, like with Arkansas, Vanderbilt probably just didn't want to hear that shit. They talking about, well, that they felt like that wasn't no excuse. So shit. It's a lot of coaching vacancies that's out there, but I think Arkansas should probably look at Frank Hoiberg to replace Mike Anderson, but Nebraska talking about looking into getting to him. But I stand corrected. I said Frank Hoiberg returned to the Big 12, Nebraska, and the Big 10 conference. If I was Frank Hoiberg, man, I'd go to Arkansas, because that offense that he runs and let alone, he runs like a zone press. It looks confusing as fuck, but it works. And what he did with the Bulls is okay, but let's be real here. I still say that the Bulls should have never hired him.
No,
at all. He was the wrong hire, the wrong place, in the wrong time. But some coaches are best suited. Some college coaches are best suited for the for college, and some coaches are best suited for the pros. But there have been some coaches that have had success. I mean, Kelvin Sampson. I mean, he been in both the NCAA and in NBA, so he's successful. And no, Razorback fans, let me just say this right here: the money that the University of Houston has, and I'm not going to say, and with respect to the booster of the University of Houston, we're not going to say their name. That's a no-win situation, because you may as well overdraft the state budget to try to get Kelvin Sampson over, and them boosters will match that. So I'm sorry, Kelvin Sampson is not fucking going anywhere. He got better things to worry. He got Cal the Crook to worry about than beside having throwing speculation about him going to Arkansas. So the media need to shut the fuck up about this shit, and that sickens me. That sickens me all the time. When your team that good and getting ready to play an important game, you want to throw up shit just to be in the wrench of the monkey works. Kelvin Sampson got to worry about fucking Kentucky, and I think Houston can beat Kentucky. I don't want to see North Carolina. I don't want to see North Carolina and Kentucky in the Elite Eight, because if that happens, I'm not watching. Because I'm sick of that shit. I get sick of that shit every fucking year. Every year, North Carolina, Kentucky either playing in the Elite Eight or in the Final Four. I'm tired of it, dog. Give me something fresh. North Carolina and Houston.
Yeah, I mean,
look up when the last time North Carolina and Houston played each other. I mean, I would like to see that. Give me something fresh.
In the 80s? The 80s. That has to be in the 80s. So with Houston have all the talent here, especially in basketball, football, track and field, baseball, whatever. They're a fresh talent base. So they're the only city that could replenish itself damn near on every sports level. You know what I'm saying? Outside of LA, and a few other spots, but not too many cities out there can replenish itself the way Houston can. But basketball, basketball is gold out here, just like football. You know what I'm saying? So Kelvin Sampson do not need to leave Houston. If he plans on leaving Houston for Arkansas, that'll be the dumbest shit he could ever do. Because
and you'll set the program back, because I mean, he got to realize Houston get ready to Houston get ready to be on the come up on both football and basketball, because I still say to this day, when they got Dana Hogan, that was I'm put it like this, that was the end all and be all for Mike Norvell and everybody in that American Conference. Dana Hogan in the American Conference, that's the end all be all for everybody.
But you got to think about it. You have billionaires that are connected to the University of Houston, particularly the Fertitta family. I call his ass mob boss Fertitta, basically. But the Fertitta family is closely connected to the University of program, particularly Tillman Fertitta, and he's gonna put up whatever money Kevin Sampson wants. He can definitely match it by his fucking self. That's not even including the other billionaire boosters that U of H have. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why the Fertitta Center is named after Tillman Fertitta. You know what I'm saying? And he's on the university board. So he has whatever he says in Houston goes. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he says in Houston is going to go. You know what I'm saying? This dude owns his own suite inside the Astros Stadium. He has his own suite inside of the Houston Rockets Stadium, his own suite inside of Reliance Stadium, where he can only sit in that motherfucker and you can't come there unless he invites you. That's a powerful ass dude in Houston out here. You know what I'm saying? One of many very, very powerful people out here. You know what I'm saying? You know, the guy
he must got a big ass suite.
Oh shit, yeah. He's got a suite at the Astro Stadium. He's got a suite at Reliant. He's got a suite at the Rocket Stadium. You know what I'm saying? You know, if he's not there, you got to have permission to be there. Otherwise, security's gonna escort your ass about that motherfucker. But with Tillman Fertitta, I feel like is gonna make sure he stays at the University of Houston as long as they can have him. Because I think Kevin Sampson is pushing 70. And I know this is a lot of old ass basketball coaches around here. What the fuck these motherfuckers been drinking, Craig?
I don't know. Well, the stress. Kevin Sampson don't even look like he fucking 70. I thought the dude still like in his 50s, you know. But shit. But I guess in Kevin Sampson's case, black don't crack. You know, he look like he's mixed with something, but I still because he has
Indian in him as well.
Yeah, he got the verbiage of a brother, so I still consider him one of us. Exactly. But shit, it's just all the stress with the recruiting and all this other shit. I mean, look, Calipari finna look like Bob Huggins right now, because I remember Calipari used to be skinny as me, even when he took the Memphis job. That man was skinny as me. Now the man in Kentucky, the man looking all fat like he can't get out the car now. You know, shit. It's just just the stress of all these recruiting these kids and stuff like that, man. I mean, hell, these coaches need to take them a break, dog.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Man.
Yep. Man, in NFL news, even though Jimmy hates the NFL still, the NFL has finally decided they won't give it the program with this overtime rule.
And this is a confirmed report.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
So, it's confirmed, but they're more likely, knowing Roger go to hell in the competition committee, led by Jeff Fuckface Fisher. They may change their minds. But yeah, in case nobody don't know it, because in college, their overtime rule that was implemented 18 years ago was if if the score is tied, if one team scores, then the other team has the opportunity to score. If that team doesn't score, then it's game over.
Exactly, and that's
so now the NFL is going to adopt that rule.
And it should be that's the way it should be, because both teams need opportunity to score. And what ends up happening is if both teams don't score, then it should go into a sudden death overtime if both teams do not get an opportunity. Both teams need an opportunity to score a touchdown, because it's clearly unfair if the game ends on one touchdown. That is clearly unfair. This is the only fucking sport I know that does not give their team an opportunity to score. As much as I don't watch soccer like that, even though I know Brazil and France won I know France won the World Cup and Germany won that's as much as I fucking know about soccer. But even soccer gives their team an opportunity to score in overtime. Even baseball give their team an opportunity to score in their version of overtime extra innings.
Mm-hmm.
NFL is the only professional league that does not give both teams an opportunity.
Don't forget hockey now.
Hockey has shootouts. It's called a shootout. Hockey gives you a clear opportunity, and if you miss the shootout, if you lose the shootout, you're gonna lose. So every other sport gives you an opportunity to win, except the fucking NFL. That's an atrocity to the fucking sports world, and it needs to change. And fuck Roger Goodell, because I don't like that racist motherfucker. And that bitch need to change that shit. That's all I gotta say about that shit.
Yeah, well, you know I call him Roger go to hell, so.
Yeah, so it is what it is when it comes to that.
But it is what it is on that one. NBA news, that Joseph Nurkic guy from Portland out for the year. Damn. Fucked up his back. Yeah, he broke his leg. He broke both of the major fibulas of his leg. So he's gonna be out for the remainder of the season, probably plus until almost toward the middle of the NBA season. So now they got Enes Kanter. So hopefully Enes Kanter get up off his ass, stop talking shit, and can play and get up off his butt and play. So, but he was hooping last night in place. And NBA wise, I still say Portland is the most dangerous team you gotta have to watch in the West. And Toronto and Detroit gonna be good matchup on paper, but a bad matchup for Toronto, because call me crazy, I think Toronto gonna go 7 games in that series with Detroit in that one.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm totally 1000%.
But the problem that I see with Detroit is, whereas Toronto, because let me tell you something. The problem I'm gonna have with Toronto is Kyle Lowry. Okay. He always deliver in the regular season, but he choke in the playoffs. It's not just with LeBron. He choke in general in the playoffs. Let's keep it 1,010. He chokes in general in the playoffs. Now you got Kyle, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Marc Gasol, and Serge Ibaka. Detroit only got Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond and Reggie Jackson. They really don't have no other good shooters to speak of.
Yeah,
you know, Toronto is balanced on all ends. So if Toronto beats them in 5, that'll surprise me. But I think they'll win it in 7. But now they got Marc Gasol who can really control Blake and a little bit of Drummond. But you know, Drummond gonna get his rebounds and shit. Blake gonna do whatever the fuck Blake gonna do. It may go 6 or 7.
Yeah, and that can spell foul trouble. And on the flip side of that can spell foul trouble for Gasol as well. So he's going to need some assistance from Ibaka to help control the paint, because otherwise, you know, you finna rack up a shitload of fouls. And Drummond needs to score more, need to be more aggressive offensively, because Blake Griffin is doing most of the inside scoring that Detroit does. So
Dwayne Casey been getting on his ass about that shit, man. You know, because I know one time he said, you know, you get tired of telling people they got to step up on the other end of their game. You might well just say forget it. So
yeah, because he's a hell of a rebounder. That dude is a rebounding fool. He's led the NBA in rebounding in the last 2 years, averaging 16 rebounds a game. He has some of the highest totals I didn't seen in a while. So he's a hell of a rebounder, but he needs to score. That's the thing. You know, you got Blake Griffin on one side and you on the other side. You gotta score, man. You know, otherwise you don't give your team a chance. So
true.
Hopefully it goes 7, and I think it will go 7 if Toronto ends up having to play them boys, man.
Yep. So playoffs gonna be interesting, and again, no LeBron in the playoffs.
And that's so unfortunate for him, but hey, you know, it is what it is when it comes to him, man. So, you know.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Yeah, so he can have it. What's the next topic before we get up on out of here, son?
Man, like we said, this just gonna be kind of short, man, and Damn, I had it on my mind. I know you don't want to talk about well, I want to express on my mind everybody's favorite singer, Robert Kelly. Is trying to avoid jail time and let alone trying to sneak his ass over there to Dubai. Come talking about he had a concert over there in Dubai. Okay. So when Dubai officials, the Dubai government officials confirmed that there was no concert over the schedule for R. Kelly over in Dubai, they told his ass to bring his black ass on back over here. Let's face it, R. Kelly, you going down, dog. Just face the music. You going down. Take this L, because you ain't gonna be trying to bump and grind and ride and have them little girls over there in Dubai ride your Jeep, because that was your plan all along. and really, I was being honest. And really, let's just keep it 1,010. You trying to avoid. You really avoiding jail time. Because if you raping them underage girls over there in Dubai, chances are we may never see you again. So, going over other folks' country trying to cut up. No, dude. Your ass ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
It is what it is, man, when it comes to him, man. So, yeah, it is what it is when it comes to old boy. So, yep. So, R. Kelly need to, just take that L, man, because the thing is, man, you had an opportunity to quit doing what you're doing and you continue to do what you're doing. It is what it is when it comes to
He can't help himself.
Yeah, so
he can't help himself. He can't help himself. But
and speaking of Mississippi Valley, this dude was 30 and what?
31 and 31 wins, 132 losses.
Oh my goodness!
And his name is Andre Payne. So let me give a nice little shout out to Andre Payne, the former Mississippi Valley State coach. You don't need a coach no more, dog. Period.
No, and in his defense, a lot of those HBCUs don't have the luxury to do a lot of great recruiting.
No.
Like out here at TSU and Prairie View, which is the two HBCUs in the city of Houston.
Texas State. Not Tennessee State, y'all. Texas State in Houston.
Texas Southern. Texas State is, I think.
Oh, Texas Southern.
But Texas Southern in Prairie View, A&M, they have a luxury because they got the Houston metropolitan area. They're in an advantage. So leftover basketball players, leftover football players in Houston could be a gold mine. Whereas Jackson State, Mississippi basketball, they got some pretty good hoopers. And I'm not even going to piss on them. But if you don't get the top guys in Mississippi, you assed out. That's just keep it 1,010. If you don't get the top guys in Mississippi, you pretty much going to be assed out. Same thing with Southern over there in Louisiana. Same thing with Grambling. Alabama A&M, same thing. So the thing is, the only
you might well forget it, Alabama A&M. That because from what I heard that's a garbage ass school anyway.
Yeah,
it's garbage. It's garbage on all levels.
Yeah, so unless you're Texas Southern or Prairie View A&M, you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to recruit the same with these HBCUs. Even Tennessee State have somewhat of an advantage because Nashville, they have a little bit of basketball talent and they can go into Memphis and get guys who's not going to get into major universities. But other than that, for the most part, when you talk about HBCUs and basketball recruiting, especially in the SWAC, they're not going to be able to compete with certain teams. That's the reason why you have seen Houston teams win 5 straight in a row. That's the reason why they have the conference tournament over there at the Toyota Center every year, because it's, they're going to bring all their talent. They're going to support that. Go ahead.
And don't forget, like you say, all these HBUs, don't forget over there at the MEAC conference, like the North Carolina A&Ts, the Florida A&Ms, the the Norfolk States. Well, see, really, and in the Middle Eastern Athletic Conference, that's a hotbed because the main pipeline for recruiting is North Carolina and Virginia. They get these cats that because some of these states, schools go in the hood. Norfolk State, like I said, like Morgan State. Morgan State got rid of let go of Ty Bozeman after 13 seasons, and he used to coach over there at Cal. So,
yeah,
but
well, yeah,
the recruiting hotbed is just, man, it. Like you said, it's sus. Right now, like you said, HBCUs don't have the luxury to do that. But they maybe they need to have a footprint in the ground or something, establish like a little footprint to get themselves going. Now, like a school like Alabama A&M and all other stuff, man, and I'm gonna say this now, because I had a niece-in-law, my ex-niece-in-law, she graduated from there, and it's a garbage ass school. From what I've been hearing, it is really garbage. It's garbage because a lot of folks, some people are scared to leave home, and like I said, like my ex niece-in-law, her cousin who I got on record and had and told you about, I had that confrontation with, damn near had that confrontation with months ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed, he went there much to the disapproval of his mama and that guy that called himself his father. But he had a scholarship to, I forgot where he said it was. Because he said he had a better opportunity at Alabama State, but he didn't want to go to Alabama State.
Yeah.
And that's why they was like, what the fuck, man? And his dad was like, why you saying that's stupid? He said A&M ain't Alabama A&M garbage, man. You should have went to Alabama State.
Yeah, and with basketball, I remember looking up when Alcorn State went undefeated the same year Indiana State went undefeated, but because the SWAC conference was a new conference in Division I, Alcorn State wasn't allowed to play in the NCAA tournament, and that was when they had under Davey Whitney, who's no longer with us. Rest his soul. He was a pretty good head coach over there at Alcorn State. They had some pretty good hoopers because, he traveled. This is when HBCUs at that time they had luxury to go out there and recruit at that particular time. He traveled to Houston and got a few guys, went to New Orleans and got a few good players, and they had a monster season. And then the next year they had a pretty they finally was allowed to go to the NCAA tournament and stuff like that. And it was so crazy that a lot of SEC teams under Davey Whitney, when he had them great teams at Alcorn State, none of those SEC teams wanted to go play that boy because that dude had a squad.
Was this a white dude that was coaching or a black guy?
It was a black guy. He was a black guy, a Davey Whitney. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he was a pretty damn good head coach, man, out there at Alcorn State. You know what I'm saying? But it would have been interesting to see, even though they lost in the NIT in '79. It would have been interesting to see what they would have did in the NCAA tournament. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a pretty damn good squad right there. So it is what it is when it comes to that, man. So, man, do you got anything else do you want to say before we go and get the hell up out of here, man?
Man, I'm trying to think because everything was just all short and sweet because, we did we did all our Q&As yesterday. That I haven't got any feedback from that podcast yet, or haven't heard anything. But man, I like to say this because I was trying to post a video up today about people need to stop criticizing. Now, matter of fact, this is what it is here. People need to stop criticizing other folks in regards to their struggles and situations as to what's going on. Whether it be your friends or your so-called friends or whatnot. Okay. Well, and I'm gonna tell you, listen, say what's going on with me because a couple weeks ago, a couple Tuesdays ago, I was let go from my job. All right, so right now I'm in the process of finding another one. So I had this conversation with this friend, not saying any names, and they had nerve to tell me, well, and I quote, why you just can't do what I told you to do, which is go back to FedEx, and this was a direct quote what was said to me. Why you just can't just go back to Fed? Why you just can't just go back and do what I asked you to do? Just go back to FedEx, because that's a dumbass excuse that you gave as to why you ain't going back. Because them people don't give a fuck about you. End quote. Okay. First of all, I worked at that job for 14 years, so why the fuck would I go back? Now, granted, I did go back to UPS 3 years ago, and that was a seasonal job. I rather would go back, and I'm saying it here public. I would rather go back and work for UPS than I would go back to work for my former employer because UPS has something that they don't, a union. Okay.
Exactly.
And I don't, whereas, and I really don't know if UPS will work like Duke, and they're basically a Monday through Friday fucking job. They ain't no 7 day a week, 7 day a week, 7 day a week cups of coffee job like they are, like the other people. But I'm gonna say this. If some of your friends or other people get pissed off because you didn't do what they wanted you to do, fuck them.
Exactly.
You grown. So person didn't take too kindly about what I said, and I got tired of it. So I said, you know what? I said, we were having a pleasant conversation. I said, but then you just gonna take a right wing, and take it all out of left field and want to stick it in there. And then they had nerve to say, well, I just felt like I had to get that off my chest. Okay, well, shit, it's a lot of things I feel like getting off my chest with some people or with anybody, but I'm going, again, that's where tech comes to play. And this person, they have two grown children too. And it's just all about, they just think about just work, 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 work. I mean, hey, you ain't in no position to criticize that's for anybody. And I speak on anybody about this. I'm not criticizing. You don't see me getting on here, calling Jimmy J Smooth, saying, "Man, I don't think you ain't got no business having two or three roommates up at your apartment and shit like that. You grown, you able to handle shit on your own." Or what Jimmy J got the right to tell me I ain't got no business back home with my mom and he'll take care of her pops passed away. Who the fuck is we? You know, there are reasons as to why some things happen to us. Not all people, not all people are invincible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you got them, if you got them friends like I do and everybody else does, if you're not trying to help the situation, but you help the situation your own way by trying to critique somebody, just dismiss yourself.
Exactly.
Because hey, you can't say you ain't been in the same situation as some of us have been and this and that and whatnot. You bullshitting. It's just so bullshit. Don't come to me with that bullshit. Because hey, I have my, I ain't no street dude either, but I have my bullshit detector on 24/7, even in my sleep. Even when I'm on sleep, my bullshit detector on sleep mode. But it's gonna be some bullshit that will be heard or something that been on my mind for the longest that I have to address. So, don't criticize. Don't criticize no folks in a situation if you ain't been that same way. You don't have the luxury. Show me somewhere in your bank account where it'll say, yeah, I got the luxury to criticize somebody. Big deal. You bring if you got a nice little paying job driving trucks about this and about that, but you still barely got to, half time the ones making that big money still barely have a pot to piss in and whatnot. Really don't care about that. We live in an age now where where it's all about materialistic. And really just wish folks would stop acting like that.
I mean, if you can't help the situation, just get the fuck out of people's business. That's my thing. If I can't help you, I don't want to know your damn business. That's just the way I am and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because I believe in helping people. But if,
Yep.
my thing is the flip side of that is don't ask for advice that you don't want. If you don't want to apply a certain situation, you don't want to apply the certain situation to what you need, just get the fuck on out my face and shit. That's the way I look at it. So it is what it is when it comes to that, man. You got any more on that situation or?
No, well, like you said, and it made me think about something. What Ultimate Warrior told these two guys: don't never ask for advice, because some advice be good advice but in reality, he said it was kind of crazy what he said, but then when you think about it, it's a good point. He said you just got to follow your own direction. He said don't ever ask folks for no direction because they gonna tell you the way they want you to go, And I've always been like that. Like some people tell me, well, you ain't deal with what I want you to do. I ain't got to do what the fuck what you wanted me to do. I do what I do.
Yeah, I mean, some people need guidance. I'm not going to even say they don't need guidance. Some people do need guidance, but like I say, unwanted advice is uncalled for. That's my thing about that particular situation. If you don't want to do what they say, shit, people just need to keep it moving. That's the way I look at it, man.
But like I said, if I got my reasons as to not want to go back to that job, they're my reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's plain and simple. Like what I look like bashing the company that I done left, and then I turn around and come back.
Exactly. That's just the way that it is, brother.
And I ain't never banned when I left UPS. I never bashed it. Never.
Yeah. So that's just the way that it is, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, we ain't got nothing. This is just one of the most short and sweet cup of coffee live streams. So we'll probably be back. What's this, Tuesday? We'll probably be back either Friday, depending on Jimmy. Seeing what else going to matter. Because matter of fact, it might be Friday because Thursday we're gonna talk about the Sweet 16. So that third, well, we're gonna talk about the results from after the 316, after the Sweet 16 on that one. Yeah. So, and then probably when everything is all wrapped up, nice and wrapped up and everything, we'll give y'all our picks for the Final Four and stuff like that. So I have nothing to I have nothing to add, but like I said, I just sometimes I do ask for advice, but lately certain people and one certain person, gives me the wrong advice that I don't want to hear, but they're forcing me to hear, and they're mad at the fact that I didn't take them up on it. But sometimes you got to have a solid reason. Like Jimmy, why would I tell you, man, you need to go back to FedEx after you had an unpleasant history with them?
Exactly. So it is what it is when it comes to that, man. So if you don't have anything else, man, once again,
none.
This your boy, live and direct in full effect, out the 832 with my homeboy in the 662, and y'all already know how we do. Good night and peace out.
Good night, everybody.